Hi everyone, I'm Kim with Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you for joining me for another Mystery Mystic Monday. And I just wrapped recording Lauren's reading, and I am going to do something a little different. I'm going to shuffle this deck here and ask Spirit for a card to basically sum up what I just experienced in that reading. And let me see what card will summarize it perfectly. Spirit, what would summarize Lauren's reading that I just did? One or two cards, please. It's the problem with jumping cards. It takes a while. Masquerade. So true. And you'll see what I'm talking about if you choose to stay tuned. And I hope you do. And I hope you put the word out about her case, because her family is trying to, figure out, get to the bottom of things of what may have happened to Lauren on the night and of the morning of her passing. So the night leading up to her passing and then the morning of. Masquerade. Oh boy, when you see the reading, you'll see why this card is totally appropriate. There's certainly someone who is having a false face, and it's not just Matt in this whole equation. Matt is the person who was last with Lauren the night before she passed, but you'll see in the reading. So let me know in the comments who you think that this card Masquerade is speaking about in this case. All right. All right, so we're going to start off with the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle, as we are looking at the energy surrounding the 12 to 24 hours, the last 12 to 24 hours that LaurenSmith-Fields experienced. What was going on with her and Matt? Okay, we've got pipe, herb, hag. There's some disturbing things about this case, and I don't typically want to touch upon these because they can be really triggering, but we're gonna go there. I'm also called to do this reading because what's going on with the Handling Police Department, I'm very disgusted with that, with how the case has been handled thus far. Okay, let me see. Shovel, crow. All right, let's zoom in. I'm going to scoot these over and zoom in so you guys can see what I see. And sorry for the background noises. My husband, for some reason, is coughing and carrying on. I sound so caring, don't I? All right. So we've got the pipe card, and next to the herb, which is interesting to me. This was about, in Lauren's mind, this was going to be a peaceful night, a night of relaxation, a night of fun. We see that with the pipe and the herb card, and for her, this was going to be a time where she could just really relax. She's a student, and she was, just wanting to see, what was out there in the dating world, on the dating site, and she was optimistic about that. She wanted to, I think that the date actually didn't start at her house. What ended up happening is that she may have had a little bit too much to drink. So I think that Matt took her home, is what I've read. But anyways, I digress. The herb card. The herb card, again, is just signaling to me that she was like okay with everything up until the point that things kind of took a really terrible turn with this Hag card, okay? So the Hag card is about fears and nightmares and bizarre or malicious encounters. Those are the keywords that are associated with the cards. This particular little deck. And that's telling to me that things were all good. Someone was charming, and she felt she could let her guard down. And she, there was probably a sense of trust even between her and Matt. But things took a turn with this Hag card. Things took a turn as the night progressed. Things took a violent turn. Things took a turn that was a little sadistic. It just ended up not being really like a safe place for her, because there was a malicious attack on her. Okay, so we've got the Shovel card, and the Shovel card is about uncovering the truth, maybe about hiding something, burying something. So uncovering what is buried. And it just tells me that following this malicious encounter, there's been a burying of the truth, and a need to uncover what has happened to Lauren, because what she experienced was malicious and something that I sensed that was very scary for her. And it's just upsetting on how things kind of have progressed in the investigation. So definitely check out the links in the description I've included so you can see more about the case at hand. We have the Crow card. That's the final card here. So the Crow card is an omen of bad news, according to the guidebook for this particular deck. Okay, so with the Crow card, it is an omen of bad news. It is about criminal activity, even for this particular Crow card. All right, so it can also be about something moving from one place to another. This could be evidence being moved from one place to another. What was uncovered or covered, or what will be uncovered, what has been buried, has been moved from place to place. Okay, criminal activity tells me that, okay, sure, criminal activity could just mean what she had consumed. I think the reason why the DEA is getting, the Drug Enforcement Authority, or I guess that's what they call themselves, the DEA is getting involved, because there was illegal fent in her system, or it's not illegal per se, but for regular folks, how does she get that into her system? So now there's an investigation looking into that. But from her perspective, from what I'm picking up energetically and intuitively, she was just having a good time. Spirits, even, like with tequila, she was having drinks. It wasn't something that I sensed that she would do on the regular. And she literally had trust here, is what I'm picking up. And then just like I said, things just, all hell broke loose. And then there's been a sense of a cover up and some level of criminal activity. And like I was saying before, the drug activity, someone could argue, his attorney that he's hired, that Matt has hired, could argue that this is what I'm talking about, is the drug activity of consuming drugs, right? Or it could be something more sinister with the hag card and the shovel card and the crow card. So I would say, based on what I'm seeing here, something terrible did happen. And it wasn't on the account of her own doing with this hag card. This was involving someone else doing this to her, with a criminal element there was a criminal element to this. There was forethought to this criminal activity. And I would sense that if she's just wanting to have fun, I don't know. I just don't see how those kind of drugs would have been a part of the equation. All right, I will be back. I'm going to now prepare for the next part of the reading. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, let's get to it. I've got the questions over here. First question that we have, I need to bring it a little closer. What are the energies surrounding, what kind of date was this? I know, people have trying to speculate that it was like, she must have been on some sort of working girl kind of date, but that wasn't it at all from what I was gathering. She was on a dating website, Bumble, Two of Swords. So, I don't know. I'm not picking up on anything that it was anything toward other than she wanted to maybe meet someone she could start to date. And it's, Okay, Two of Swords. Let's remember that. Where's my love oracle? What type of date was this, Spirit? Between Lauren and Matt. Deservedness. Chemistry. Okay. So they were just, from what it probably would come out if the authorities actually would check into the, metadata that's surrounding their exchanges on Bumble, right, between them. You would see that, this is kind of a sight unseen thing. They're going to see what it's like, weigh their options, see if they want to choose to do this. Deservedness, I suspect that maybe he didn't know if he could really ever catch someone like her, and I that's what I'm sensing. Like, she's quite beautiful, and yeah, I don't know. The other thing I was picking up with this card when it jumped is a sense of, she was like, look, I deserve to have somebody spoil me and take me out and have a good time. And, that's what I deserve. So, and there was chemistry. There was chemistry between the both of them. So that's what I'm sensing here with the date. It was an actual legitimate type of thing where she's exploring options, he's exploring options, seeing what's out there. Sometimes not quite sure which direction to go when you're on dating sites, right? Do I go here? Do I go there? But I'm not picking up on anything like, she's out there looking for working dates or something like that. There was chemistry. All right, so I'm going to put that over here. So that was the kind of date that it was. Okay. And the next question is, how did Lauren feel about Matthew? We kind of touched upon it here, but how did she feel about him that night? And even, as the night progressed, how did Lauren feel about him? Three of Pentacles. Okay. How did she feel about him? How did Lauren feel about Matt as the night progressed? How is she feeling about him? Free yourself. All right. I'm sensing that there was some with Bumble, with the dating service. There's some element, okay, it's connecting people for all sorts of purposes, and dating someone who, you want them to spoil you and treat you right. And, I sense that as the night progressed, there was an element of she kind of wanted to free herself from him, and he could probably sense it. He could probably sense that as the night went on, she's not really feeling him as much. And, he may not have wanted the night to end. But let's see. Let's see as we ask this question for the cards here. How does Matt, as the night progressed, how did Matt feel about Lauren? Six of Cups, Two of Pentacles. So let's see. As the night progressed, how did Matt feel about Lauren? Past life connections. So he was really feeling her, like he felt like, oh my gosh, we've bonded. Pay attention to the red flags. And keep your options open. So this is as the night progresses. This is how he's feeling towards her. Okay. So Six of Cups. He was having feelings as they were hanging out in the earlier part of, their time together. He was feeling really good about it. They were laughing. They were joking. It felt like they were old friends. To him, he felt really connected to her. This is not someone who necessarily is just dating, I think, trolling for, I'm not sensing here that he's just trolling on here to be harm to other people. He really felt a strong connection to her. But what's concerning me is that I don't know if he's like juggling different kind of personalities or juggling the ways of how he was presenting himself. And as the night progressed, it started to kind of be a turnoff for her. She wanted to free herself. This is the free yourself card. And, as the night progressed and we move into the morning, he was like, I need to exit a door and get the heck up out of here, because this is a situation. He was feeling as he was losing control of the situation as the night progressed, because that's the question. So, as the night progressed, how did they feel about each other? Pay attention to the red flag. So he, as the night was going on, he may or may not have been paying attention, and then by morning, like literally for him, all hell broke loose, so that's what happened. Things could have accidentally unfolded, but still at the hands of him and him, so we don't know. And hopefully more answers come out as the investigation unfolds. And this is not to accuse him of anything, but, let's face it, he was the last person to see her alive and be with her, according to his own admission. So we can therefore deduce that he would know something a little bit more than probably what he's been asked of by authorities, because they have not officially interviewed this gentleman who was with her. So, yeah. Moving on to the next question. So now I'm going to consult this little deck. What was the manner in which how the drugs got into Lauren's system? Okay. What's the manner? Okay, family. Let's see. Mountains. Let's see if it gives any information. Spine. Ooh, that kind of bothers me. So, her family says that she, would probably maybe have a drink here or there. But she was not someone to just be getting all, messed up with, on alcohol or doing hard drugs or doing anything like or prescription drugs, as far as they know, right? That they said they are a tight-knit family. They know this is the family card. Mountains and then spine. And I'm going to put one more. Mountains and spine. This is kind of disturbing because this is saying that someone else watching from afar, watching her do what she do. Okay, mountain. Hold on. I'm going to pull one more card. Her family offers a clue in that, and of course families may not know everything that goes on with their loved ones. I get that. I understand that. But I really believe them when they say that, she was really into her fitness. She exercised every day, so I don't know. Crime scene. So we're asking about the manner in which the drugs got into her system. Her family says that she wouldn't just do that on her own. And her attorney, I was watching one of the interviews done on the news station, the local news stations in Connecticut, because this is in Bridgeport. The family attorney said that the two drugs can be something that it makes a drug that can induce highly sedation. You can feel very sedated under this combination, which is why it's used to attack women, right? Or people, not just women, anyone who somebody wants to drug and, make you completely unaware of what's going on. So it would beg the question, well, why would she be taking that, right? And it wasn't like she had the white stuff in her system, something that maybe would be cut by fent. It wasn't. It was something that just didn't make any sense. And then a whole bunch of alcohol, which makes sense with this mountains card. It's like, okay, she may not have had a huge tolerance, or maybe she did, but nevertheless, she had drunk a lot. But somebody was watching what she was consuming, and very much could have had a hand in how things unfolded, hence the crime scene. I suppose that if she just was, she got these meds off the streets on her own, he's not even involved, I suspect that other cards would come up. There's other cards here that could suggest, like alive, that, she did this to herself. Ocean, There's health issues. There's cards here, the S word. suicide. There's cards here that would suggest that she did this to herself. You know, got doctor, but mental health is another one. So there's plenty of cards. I'm just showing all of you these cards because I want to emphasize that there's plenty of cards in this 78 card deck that could speak to it being really truly an accident where she got these drugs on her own and then she took them, and it turned a nice date night into a night that just went completely off the rails, right? Could have been that. I'm not sensing it with these cards here. I'm just not. Okay, so that's what I'm picking up on, is that someone else had a hand in what happened to her, and that there is some truth to what her family is saying. Now, Matt did say in his statement that during their date, over the course of the night, her brother, her brothers have done interviews. You can check them out on, YouTube or on the internet, for the local news stations. They've done interviews, and her brother did come that night to her apartment. And Matt said that she came back in the house with something, went into the bathroom, and was in the bathroom for 10 to 15 minutes. But mind you, he also has said that she had gotten very, very sick, like to her stomach. She was vomiting earlier that evening from consuming all the alcohol. So, maybe that's what that's picking up on. That could very well be, but I don't know, because the crime scene part still disturbs me. So let's say that she did get them on her own. It doesn't explain why there was a big, blood stain in the middle of her sheets that her family found. The police didn't even do a search or had anyone from CSI to really come and collect this evidence. The family had to go and clean out her apartment and find that, right? Oh my God. So let's say that she got him, but how did the blood get there? It doesn't make sense. His behavior post this whole ordeal, post her passing, has been interesting and suspect, and not how you move if you truly didn't do anything. He also claimed that they didn't have sex. He said that they didn't, but then there was a used condom found in the I think it was the bathroom trash, but it was found in the trash. So then now the authorities are asking, I believe, and he's just recently got an attorney as of Thursday. I'm recording this video Thursday, the 27th of January, 2022. And he got an attorney because the authorities finally had asked for a DNA sample. And here's the thing. She's been missing since December 12th. They are just now, and the authorities are very much behind the ball on this investigation, I must say. We saw that with the shovel card earlier in their Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. So I'm just kind of curious, surrounding whether or not did they have, relations, and if so, was it consensual? Okay, the Empress, Nine of Cups, which is interesting. Judgment. I'm going to pull one from my love oracle. Trust. Okay. Feels like something definitely happened. So he's not necessarily, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see with the DNA, right? Because this card tells me, the Empress, something definitely happened. Okay, this is a sensual kind of card, judgment card, These are major arcana cards. This is someone who's jubilant and excited and thrilled about what happened. FBI. Footprints. One more, please, Spirit. It's a trust card is interesting. Next to the FBI CIA card. And I say that because and I'm not going to keep you guys too long here. We'll ask a few more questions, but I might revisit this in another video. I just don't want the video to be terribly, terribly long. But here's the thing. The initial detective, I think his name is Kenneth Cronin. I could be wrong, but he totally mishandled, in my opinion, my civilian opinion as a citizen. He just mishandled it, and he was completely calloused and cold towards his family. They didn't even find out about her passing like one would expect. They got a note on their door saying that if you're looking for Lauren, call us. That's what they got. The landlord, was the one that had to fill the family in on what would happen. Okay. So turns out there's rumors that the police are, not the police, but this particular detective may have a connection with Matt. So I thought it was interesting that the FBI CIA card jumped because the trust card is, it just actually makes me kind of ill. When Detective Cronin met up with her family, according to her brother said that they said, Lauren went on a date. They were explaining what may have happened and who she was with, the last person she was with. Oh, Matt, he's a good guy. He seems like someone you can really trust. He seems like a really good guy. Something to that effect, right? And so I thought, that's interesting. Footprints and man, someone you can trust. Footprints. Cover the shovel covering up something. Something did happen. In terms of it being consensual for me, I'll let it be up to you all. There could have been times where maybe it was and it wasn't. There's just some interesting circumstances here as to the handling of it. I think that's just as much of a travesty of her passing is the handling of the investigation by the police, the authorities. And now it's being investigated by a new detective. There's other different, like Internal Affairs is looking at that Detective Cronin. The DEA is looking into the drug angle. So there's that. Thankfully, right? Thankfully. But it's concerning. That is just as much a tragedy. And to answer the question, something happened sexually. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of the DNA. And someone analyzed the situation and made the judgment that we're going to go with, he's a good guy caught in a bad situation. But there is evidence. The footprints are there. Footprints to me of a man. And that man is the last one who was with her. The footprints is his DNA. But again, I hope, for Matt's sake, I hope I'm wrong. Okay? So, what's next with the investigation? Because I was going to ask about the blood situation, and I'm just not going to at this point. I know something terrible did happen in terms of something very, because a person just doesn't start to bleed. I could be wrong. If you are ODing, maybe that happens, but I've never heard or seen of such a thing. I don't know. So the family has hired an independent, ordered an independent autopsy. So I'm curious to see what's coming up next in the investigation. The Hierophant represents the time period of April 21st to May 20th. The Wands represents the season of spring. I sense that they are going to feel some sort of vindication about what comes up. Like some information is going to come through. Some information is going to come through that lets them know that they are on the right track. But they have an uphill battle. They are going against a bureaucratic system, an old boys network. They're going against institutions that cover up, even for just the sake of covering up. So I'm sensing that there's going to be information that is revealed as time goes on that is going to help the family. But there's some things that are just not going to be revealed yet. Some evidence that has been lost and not ever going to be able to be found. Aunt could represent a strong woman. Maybe there was signs of a struggle. You see, she's got a little gun here. There was signs of a struggle in the apartment. Some could argue, that, knocked over plates, flipped over plates is not a sign of a struggle. But it looked to the family like there were signs of struggle. So she put up a fight. Why is that? What is that about? But that evidence is probably lost now. So they're like having to really start over. But what I'm sensing here with the Hierophant next to the Six of Wands, that they will have some progress in this case. At least they have a place to start. Unfortunately, they don't. It's bad where how things have been handled, and it's terrible. My heart goes out to the family. Please know that this is just. No one ever would dream of this for their family or loved ones, and you would hope that things would be handled differently when these kind of cases come up. But we're starting to see more of these cases coming up over and over again. And so, yeah, even some of the cases that I wrote down that I want to explore in the future all have similar elements where Fent is involved, some sort of date situation, something happened here. Bald, not quite sure what Bald is speaking to me about, Spirit. But maybe something really being in your face. I don't know. Is that gentleman bald, Matt? I can't remember. I think he is. I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's going to be some information revealed. And the family has also filed a lawsuit against the police department. I sense that this is going to go favorable for them as well. And also what also will continue to happen is people making this case more aware, and it really captured people's hearts, and people are really struck by how awful things have unfolded for their family, the family of Lauren, right? So anyways, I've gone on long enough. That's it, guys. I am not going to go in too much further into the energies surrounding this. Like I said, there were some questions I was going to ask, but I think it's clear that something in the middle of the night, I don't think he was bargaining for it, to be honest with you. I don't think he set out to go and do something to her. I think something ended up happening, and now there's a cover up. And I don't think that this was something that he had necessarily premeditated, like he's scoping out and looking for her and looking for other women. I could be wrong. I think something in the night, as the night progressed, went awry. That's what I'm picking up on. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you're picking up on. Have you done a reading on Lauren's case? And if so, what came up for you? Or do you have any new developments in this case? Let me know. Let me know. And my condolences to the family and loved ones of Lauren. I am so, so sorry. Take good care of yourselves. Much love. Bye.